Hello Epic 7 newbies. This is Suspect Amy, and I'm here to do a quick video about why you should farm the new Riposte and Reversal gear sets even if you don't need them at all. I'll go through the reasons why farming these sets will give your account a massive power boost, and then throw together a tier list of which heroes are the best for these new sets. We were all burned pretty badly when Epic 7 introduced new sets way back in 2022, like Protection and Torrent. Farming these up to a usable point was an absolute nightmare. Even now, 3 years later, these new sets are far and away the sets that I have the fewest strong pieces for. The game developers realized their mistake and they solved this issue with the new sets introduced this year. What exactly am I talking about? Back in the live stream where they announced the otherworldly content, they mentioned two things. One is that otherworldly hunts, where you get normal gear from, will drop twice as much gear as the previous Hell hunts. But they also mentioned that the farm they introduced for the new sets, Otherworldly Breach, is actually higher than Otherworldly hunts, dropping gear at a rate that's, quote, more than 3 times higher than Rift. This is pretty ridiculous. This means that farming Otherworldly Breach for a single buffed weekend will give you enough very, very high-end equipment to fully gear a dozen heroes. Sure, it'll cost you 100 leafs, but let me explain what impact this has on your account. There are dozens of meta heroes that work incredibly well on these new gear sets. From BBK to Soakflan to Genesis Ross, heck, you could even argue that this is the best set for RB. Let's take Afternoon Soakflan as an example. Currently, I have her on my best destruction set and she absolutely stomps people. But after a single weekend of farming, I'm able to swap her to an equally strong Riposte set. Sure, now my Flan will counterattack like crazy, but this is not the biggest benefit to my account. The biggest benefit is now I can equip my best destruction set on someone else. After a single weekend of farming, I can free up some of the best speed, counter, lifesteal, and destruction pieces I own, and put these on other heroes to make my account incredibly strong. I think you get the point. The return on investment for 100 leafs and a couple of days of farming is incredible. Now let's talk about which heroes are the best for each set. We'll start with Reversal because the list is a lot smaller than Riposte. To recap, Reversal will give the wearer 15% more speed along with a 50% CR push if they revive. The top heroes look something like this. Genesis Ross is obviously S tier. For A tier, we have Ruel and Fene. For B tier, this is where we start looking at Holy Sack Knights. Mort, Crow, and Yulha are probably the top choices. For C tier, this is where we think outside the box a bit. Rowana and Maid Chloe are interesting candidates since they have revive buffs that work on themselves. Arby can be used here, but you could argue he's better on Riposte. Fire Meru is a no-brainer for this set, but she's not really used in PvP that much, so her gear priority should be last. D tier goes to Abyssal and Bellion as Holy Sacrifice Knights, but I feel like there are better sets for these two. Let's talk Riposte now. Riposte gives the wearer a 70% chance to counterattack if the opponent misses. So, evasion heroes or heroes that decrease hit chance work well on this. Pretty much any thief works great on this set, because there are so many thief artifacts that give 20% evasion, but the catch here is, if your thief needs to be fast, then this set is not an option. So units with some evasion like the Sids, Lone Wolf Para, or Mursa are instantly out of the equation. Also, this set doesn't make sense for thieves like Violet Spirit Eye and Twisted Karen, who already have a counter mechanic built into their kit. S tier is easy. It's basically every hero with a passive 50% evasion. Included in this list is Setsuka. You may be thinking, hey Amy, Setsuka already counterattacks when she evades. That's incorrect. She counterattacks when someone else evades. So this set will close that gap and she'll be much stronger as a result. Karen definitely should be up here. Unfortunately, his evasion comes in the form of a self-buff, but he also has decreased hit chance, which makes him a double threat. For A tier, let's add some thieves here that are strong and get some evasion from their kits, but not as much as the ones in S tier. Remember, all thieves can add 20% evasion to whatever's in their kit through artifacts. Now that most of the pesky thieves are out of the way, let's get to B tier. I'm going off the board a bit with Ice Cream Luluka and Fire Politis. Neither of these heroes have built-in evasion, but both can decrease hit chance by 50%, and have incredibly powerful S1 skills, with Luluka pushing your top damage dealer and Politas stunning. Kittycart and Elvira with an evasion artifact have the same thing going on. They can both provoke when they counterattack, which will just lock your team down in an endless, annoying cycle. For C tier, Genua is my sneaky pick here. Is an evasion artifact better than Windrider? I would argue yes. Since he hits so hard and has built-in survivability, he's the one unit who could solo teams without needing to take a turn. Bellion and Dizzy are also awesome picks in C tier. They lower hit chance by 50% and have incredibly strong S1 attacks, with 3F and Abyssal Crown respectively. Don't sleep on these guys. Milim and Holiday have some built-in evasion and their S1 attacks are decent, so they should be on everyone's radar. For D tier, I wouldn't build these heroes unless you just have a ton of extra good riposte pieces laying around. Both heroes can lower hit chance by 50% and have incredibly hard-hitting S1 attacks, but their survivability is questionable. Anyways, I hope I convinced you to farm Otherworldly Breach during any buff weekends. Coincidentally, we have one going on right now. That's all I have today. Thanks for watching my video. Bye everyone.